Anin gunkiki dijnakaz keteganzibi dunjaba Anishinaabe Nadao Jijek na Dodem. Anin, my name is Paul Sayers. I am from the Garden River First Nation, otherwise known as Ketegan-Zibi. I'm from the Crane clan, and I am a proud direct descendant of Chief Shingwauk. The Robinson-Huron Treaty was initiated due to repeated protests and appeals of Anishinaabe Ojibwe governments about settler encroachment into their territories. Ojibwe leaders believed that Ojibways as a whole, that they too should benefit from new sources of wealth, including timber and mineral resources. In June of 1849, several Ojibwe chiefs addressed the British government and made the need for a treaty very clear. The 1850 Robinson-Huron Treaty was made at Sault Ste. Marie between Ojibwe and Anishinaabe people in the area and the British government. Elements of the treaty included government-to-government relationships, land set aside for exclusive use of the Anishinaabe, hunting and fishing rights guaranteed, and treaty annuities to compensate for the loss of land due to European settlement. This treaty is a government-to-government document that was signed between Anishinaabe leaders and the British Crown. The treaty was to establish a relationship between the Anishinaabe and the British on the basis of mutual respect for one another. The Robinson-Huron Treaty territory covers the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe nations that cover the entirety of the Lake Huron watershed. 17 reservations were set aside as a part of this treaty. A treaty is a legal agreement between nations, in this case between the British government and the Anishinaabe people in the Robinson-Huron Treaty territory. This means that treaties are international law. They are recognized by the highest levels of governments and by international organizations such as the United Nations. This is why Indigenous people continue to insist that the Canadian government honor the terms of the pre-Confederation and post-Confederation treaties that were signed. Treaties should be respected because they are laws and because these laws are responsible for Canada as we know it today. Although a signatory, and for many reasons, Shingwauk opposed the Robinson-Huron Treaty on the grounds that the standards of treaty making among nations did not take place. In fact, many Indigenous partners in the treaty making process across this country repeatedly and justifiably have been very vocal that Canada continually does not honor the treaties.